ทุกคนเร็วเร็วเร็วเน็กเซรั่มแม่จ๋ารีบกด
185
flare and you're here in a flash. When I ask, oh dear love, where did we come from? You say that like the sun, I had the will and mission, but the wrong position. I was open, praying for a sign, until I found a lighthouse in your heart, shining like a beacon of bright stars. I was alive for wandering far, until I found a lighthouse in your heart, guiding me out the dark. Guiding me out the dark. I've heard stories of distant lands, realms I long to reach. Your voice, it beckons me to go to worlds unexplored.
Very nice to see you. Thanks a lot for the invitation. Trying to sort out the background.
And wonder.
Is the background good or should I do it?
You don't need to do that. It's the right orientation.
I see it mirrored. The Portuguese like this. Okay. Hello, Quack. So nice to see you. Hello, everyone. Hello,
Very happy to be here.
Hello guys.
Hello,
Hello,
Matthew. Hello.
Hello, hello.
I am Marty.
Alright.
So I know we are supposed to start at now, but I suppose we can also
Yeah.
wait for
Maybe wait a
maybe
little bit.
yeah 5 minutes just for more participants to join.
Recording in progress.
Didn't get to solve it this time. How we're hard to break apart. Don't tell me why we can't collide. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Don't you feel it? On the break of dawn.
So this event is also broadcast on YouTube, I haven't looked at it yet.
It's live?
Yes, I think so.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Maybe like someone can send a link to the chat so that people can see.
When we sent out the email invite, was there a link? I just realized, actually.
The link is actually on the poster. It's a QR code.
Okay, I did send out the poster, yes.
Guess we should start. It's like 36 people joining.
Okay. So very good afternoon or evening, depending on our time zones, to everyone, to our special guests, to our online participants. So welcome to this very small webinar on SEA Quantathon 2025 at World Quantum Day. So in this particular webinar, we are trying to sort of like officiate very small initiatives that we are going on, the Southeast Asia World Quantum Day initiatives. And also later on, Ral and Aria will talk to you guys about SEA Quantathon 2025. The registration deadline will end next week, so you still have time to register if you are curious, if you are interested. So without further ado, let me just briefly introduce our speakers for today. So we have 𝗪𝗂𝗂𝗶𝘀, who I hope I pronounce your name correctly. I think so. Okay, so you are the co-founder of World Quantum Day. So I suppose you can tell us a little bit about World Quantum Day, the importance of World Quantum Day, especially in this year, which coincides with the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology 2025. So what are the special initiatives that you are ongoing right now? I heard that there is this quantum city going on, so maybe you can tell us about that. So yeah, the floor is yours.
Okay, I was looking for the unmute button. So thank you very much once again for the kind invitation and congratulations on this initiative. So let me try and share my slides. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
Okay, and let me just quickly reorganize the Zoom window so that I can see you. It's really a great pleasure to be here and see so many of you, and very happy, to assist your initiatives in any way as possible. So indeed, the World Quantum Day is celebrated on April 14th. Then we can tell you a bit the story why at the end, if you want, and if there's time for questions. But we were never very strict with the date. It's around April 14th. The point is that people celebrate quantum science and technology. And of course, this is the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. And so this year is very special because this year, every day is a quantum day because it's the quantum year. So the World Quantum Day was announced in 2021 to be launched in 2022. So in 14th of April 2021, we distributed a lot of information and organized a colloquium online with Professor Alain Aspect, who actually got the Nobel Prize just a year after, saying, this is a community of quantum scientists who believe we should celebrate quantum science at the global level, engage with the public. And so this was is a bottom-up initiative, and it started with colleagues from more than 65 countries. We came together, we created this network, sorry, and we launched this initiative. So we announced it 1 year in advance, and then on the 14th of April of 2022, this was the first celebration. Although in fact in 2021 we only wanted to have that online announcement, and in fact people got enthusiastic, and we already got some events that happened in 2021. So it started very nicely, exceeding our expectations. We had 200 events in more than 44 countries in the first year, all in all continents. Truly a global initiative from the onset, and this is very important for us. And so the spirit, it's very decentralized and bottom up. It's really to invite people to organize their own events, their own initiatives, and we advertise them in our website. And we do a quality control of the submissions. And so this is essentially an invitation for all quantum scientists, but not only scientists, so engineers, educators, communicators, entrepreneurs, industrialists, technologists, but also artists, also historians. Now, for example, lawyers are getting very interested in quantum science and technology. I just gave a talk in a major law firm. Actually, they organized the first event for the International Year of Quantum in Portugal, was organized by a lawyer's company, and so it's open to anyone who has something to say or something to ask and wants to promote activities. And these activities, you can get your more standard outreach talks or lab tours, debates, interviews, but we get very interesting ideas, including people who went on to interact with playwrights and actors to create a theater play on quantum. So imagination is really the limit. And so this is how we started with many events around the world, and you can see some of the distribution there. But for example, I remember one of the first events in the first year. We only had one event in China, I think, but it was an online event. This was during the pandemic, and they had more than 1 million people attending. Okay, so only one event, but a huge audience. And so, as I said, just give you one to start before I explain what we're promoting this year in terms of our own projects, some examples of how this really picked up. So, for example, here these are research groups in around the world. So in this case, I chose an example from Munich, from our social networks, that they decided to take a photo of their team and put it online on April 14th to celebrate the World Quantum Day. As I said, the date, we were never fixated on the date. And so it's really, you know, the distribution of events is a Gaussian, with the peak around April 14th. But, you know, anything the weeks before and the weeks after, we're very happy with that. And again, in 2025 is the whole year. Sorry. But I want to give you this pretty amazing example that happens in Italy, which are the Italian Quantum Weeks. And it's 8 weeks from 14th of March to 14th of May. So it's actually 2 months, 1 month before World Quantum Day, 1 month after the World Quantum Day, and they managed to have events at national scale, including itinerant exhibitions, events, competitions for painting inspired by quantum. They have topics, and so they open a competition and they announce the award the next year in the World Quantum Day. So there's really, you know, we are very happy with all these developments. I can also tell you a bit of some of the work we did here and still do with the Portuguese Quantum Institute. So we tried to bring together school teachers and school children from Portuguese-speaking countries around the world. And so we had events with, students and teachers from Portugal, from Brazil, and from 4 Portuguese-speaking countries in Africa. And so we had more than 1,700 students, more than 50 schools. But the deal, this is a hybrid event. It happens in person in Lisbon and online in all these cities and countries. But the deal is the students and the teachers, they need to be in the school, right? If they are at home, it doesn't count. They need to be in the school. They physically need to be in the classroom or in the school auditorium, so that then, you know, some debate is generated after that. And we want to empower the teacher to help, you know, disseminate this with the students. Actually, I forgot to put here, we have created a competition for high school students connected to this. They have to create a 2 to 3 minute video explaining quantum physics to their colleagues or to the population in general, in Portuguese in this case. And I'm very happy. So we did a pilot project last year. We got 19 applications from schools only in Portugal. And this year we did some teacher training to empower the teachers in all these countries. So we had Brazil in South America. We had several Portuguese-speaking African countries, and for the first time we reached Asia in East Timor, which is a Portuguese-speaking country. And despite the time difference, there was this teacher there who really wanted to be involved. We cannot do the actual Quantum at School event because it's live and there it's very late. But for the teacher training, we could. It was only the teacher. He could by himself attend at less professional hours. And so we trained the teachers, and we're very happy to announce that we got more than 40 applications from different continents. And I'm not in the jury, but the colleagues in the jury told me that the applications are really good. So we keep being surprised by the creativity, including of young people who are excited about quantum science. So also institutionally, this picked up, which is very nice. But as I said, this is a bottom-up initiative by quantum scientists, quantum people. So, for example, the IOP had announced a prize dedicated to early career quantum science, and they announced it on April 14th. For example, Innovate UK made a study, and they released their study on April 14th about the innovation landscape for quantum startups, etc. in the United Kingdom. Optica launched a new journal, Optica Quantum, and they chose to launch it on April 14th. Companies also adhered, and so Google, for example, this is just some examples. There's many more, wishing, celebrating the World Quantum Day. Political organizations like the European Commission also celebrated the World Quantum Day. I really like this cartoon of Schrödinger and with some cats. The White House also celebrated the World Quantum Day. In fact, there was even a Twitter during the presidency of President Biden celebrating World Quantum Day. Let's see what happens this year if we get a quantum tariff. I hope not. Funding agencies, again, I grabbed these examples, also celebrated. And then actually, so you see NASA, they hired this Hollywood actor to do a video to celebrate World Quantum Day. Also, Caltech did the same, reconnecting to Hollywood and Marvel, and they actually went to some labs, some quantum labs. But this one, to me, is one of the most amazing things. I must say, most of these things are bottom up. We don't intervene, okay? So we're very happy. This one, we actually intervene, and I want to credit Spyros Michalakis, our representative in the USA. This was actually sort of his initiative, or at least he was involved. So there is this American quiz show on TV called Jeopardy, and it's the longest continuously running quiz show on TV. It's on since 1964. This is a general knowledge quiz show. And every episode has different topics. And since 1964, they had never had anything related to quantum science. And for the World Quantum Day, they engaged with Spyros, and they had a whole category that you can see here on this column on the right. Of course, these were not technical questions. This was sort of more general knowledge questions related to quantum science. And this is a TV show seen by millions of people. And so I think this was really amazing and impressive. And all these are ideas. Maybe you can do something similar in your country, or improve it, give better ideas. So this is really the spirit of the World Quantum Day. And this totally amazed us. So the American Congress approved, and I think they do this regularly, a resolution, a unanimous resolution commemorating and supporting the goals of the World Quantum Day. So a couple of years ago, I got an email from the team of Senator Todd Young asking if they could do this, and they had drafted the resolution. Essentially, they had gone to our website and copied our goals and, of course, the date. I said, sure, of course. I mean, we're very happy, and so they really want to support. And I think we got information recently that even one particular American state, I now cannot remember exactly when, I can check. So they want to do it at state level besides the national level. So this is interesting that it's taking really this recognition, including by political deciders. And there's many more you can recognize. Maybe here, LeVar Burton, an actor from Star Trek, who was also making a video for the World Quantum Day. And if you go on LinkedIn and Twitter, and you search the keyword or the hashtag, you'll find many things. And we are now actually launching in new social media that I'll refer later on. And so this is all possible thanks to, first and foremost, the World Quantum Day Network. And this is the network of quantum scientists who decided to go ahead. And as I said, we have representatives in around 70 countries. This is just a snapshot of the website. You can go there and find, and we are always very happy to expand. We want to have active quantum scientists. This is our criterion. We can have 2 representatives per country, 1 main representative and 1 deputy for redundancy, and it's a completely democratic thing where every country has the same voice. And this is very, very important for us because it doesn't depend on how much it just depends that you are representing the country. And the role of being in this network is twofold. So first, whenever we get an event from a given country, we check if we should publish it or not. And we want to be extremely inclusive. We want to publish as many events as possible. However, if we get something that is not very serious, like quantum gurus, quantum healing, or something that is obviously just some commercial marketing initiative, then we don't want to be associated to that. And this is the reason why this network is constituted by active quantum scientists who know what they are talking about. They know the topic. We very much welcome the involvement of any other quantum stakeholders, including people more active in outreach, in education, in innovation, in arts, etc. All of this is more than welcome, and we're very happy to network on all those fronts and involve all these people, and have, in fact, even such colleagues as volunteers in our coordination team. And we are very happy to have more, but the basis that gives the legitimacy is this expert knowledge that is behind this. But otherwise, it's very, very inclusive, and this is how we've been proceeding. And so let me now use my final minutes to tell you about the ongoing initiatives for this year. So one of them is what we call the Quantum Cities. This is a very simple initiative. So this whole work, the whole way this works is people, they have an idea, they organize an event, they go and submit it to the World Quantum Day website, we review it, we publish it, we try to do this very fast. There's been a lot of work in the background of the website, is now super automatized, etc., very fast to approve and to publish. And so if the event you organize happens in a city, maybe it's a hybrid event, but the physical component is in one or more cities. And if the event is approved and published, then this city becomes a quantum city. That's it. So if you want your city to become a quantum city, just organize a cool event there. Again, it can be hybrid. If it's only online, we're very happy to also have the event and advertise it. But if it's online, we cannot put it as a quantum city. Okay, and so here's an example. This is actually not the latest one. I think we're over 200 by now. But so this automatically goes to the website, and so you can see that your city is an official quantum city, and you can also generate a personalized logo for your city. So you come here to this link, you type the name of your city. In principle, this should work with any alphabet, but if it doesn't work with your alphabet, has been tested, but let us know and we try to see why not. And then you can use this logo in your events, etc. And then people can, scan this QR code and see that your city is indeed in the official map and list of quantum cities. So this one is very simple to stimulate people to get involved, and and then you can also empower the organizers and maybe go to your mayor or companies to sponsor your event and say, look, we are a quantum city, or we can become a quantum city. The other thing, which is, the name is very similar and it's of course sort of related, but it's in fact quite different, or goes a bit beyond the usual, is the Quantum Cities Prize. We waited for April 14th to announce more details, but it's already in the website and we've already talked about it. It's not super obvious to find it semi on purpose, but it's already been divulged by email, etc. But we will announce more details to apply on April 14th, this Monday. So the idea here, it's really a bit of a challenge, but people have been responding very nicely, is can we bring quantum to the public space? Right, so maybe you go in the bus or in the subway and you see some nice posters with some quantum contents, maybe explaining things, maybe inviting you to find more online, maybe very artistic contents that sort of is inspired by quantum, and then you can promote this, you can document it, and you can submit it. And there will be prizes per continent. So we've divided the map in 6 continents. So North and Central America is one, South America is the other, then Europe, Africa, Asia, and Oceania. And there will be prizes per continent. And to make it fair, there will be prizes for 3 sizes of cities, small, medium, and large. So small is less than 100,000 inhabitants, large is more than 1 million inhabitants, and medium is in between. And a colleague said, oh, I live in the village, there's only 6,000 inhabitants. 6,000 inhabitants. This is not really a city. Can I apply? I said, sure. I mean, quantum, there's always a bit of uncertainty. So, we want you to do cool stuff. Don't feel an obstacle. So we're very happy to have you. And so the prizes will be per continent. And then the idea is that the winners for the 3 city sizes in each continent, they will be selected by juries trying to be representative in those continents, and then the winners will compete at global level for the World Quantum City Prize. And as I said, the spirit is, can you bring people to engage or see some quantum content that they don't expect, as opposed to a regular event where you decide to go there, you decide that you attend this meeting, you decide that you will go to that exhibition, you decide that you will go to that lab tour. That's great, and that's the usual event. Can we now do something different and unexpected, maybe a pop-up performance in a public square, etc.? So this is really open to the imagination. And when I pitched this idea to some colleagues last year, they trying to get some feedback, is this maybe too crazy? And said, no. For example, the London Underground, the London Tube had some huge posters during the International Year of Physics a couple of decades ago. So it's, in fact, is not completely crazy. It has been done before. So we are very excited about this, and we encourage you to apply and disseminate and let us know how, if you need any support. But as I said, more information will be published on April 14th, and the deadline will be October 14th. It's a bit tight, but because we want to then have still the second round of competitions between the continental winners to get the global prize. So we need a bit of time for that. And the idea is that the winners would be announced in the second half of November, 1 month after the deadline. Finally, we had this other crazy idea that I hope we can also count on your help, which is, because it's the International Year of Quantum, we want to have one quantum event in every single country of the world, okay? And I think we can do it. It's not easy at all, but I think if there's 1 year to try this, is the International Year of Quantum. So we are looking at the list of members of the United Nations, okay? So this is an objective criterion. Our goal is to be very inclusive, but these things can unfortunately also get political. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but we try to find some objective criterion. So these are the 193 countries recognized by the United Nations. Of course, if there's more territories, etc., that do it even better, we'll be super happy. But so this is the target. And for many countries, this is not so difficult. In your region, you are very, very active. So congratulations, and thanks for all the energy and creativity you put into this. I think your colleagues, your communities should be very grateful to you, and and this is happening. But in some countries, it's of course very hard. We have this experience here from the Portuguese Quantum Institute, collaborating or trying to engage with stakeholders in Africa, in our case, in Portuguese-speaking countries in Africa, and even some countries that are quite rich because they have oils and diamonds. You see that at the university they have very few people in physics or other areas connected to this, and even in the physics department they are in topics that are closer to other areas, and there's nothing on quantum, let alone in high schools, etc. So what we do is, if someone organizes a hybrid event, for example, the event I described earlier on, the Quantum at School in Portuguese. So it's physically in Lisbon, but it's in Zoom for many schools around the world. And so if you organize some sort of hybrid event, and people in one of these countries where it's not so easy to have an event, they get together and they meet in a school, in a public library, in the house of a friend, I don't know, but they meet physically, they go to that place. House of a friend shouldn't count, I guess. It should be a bit more official than that. To attend this hybrid event, and they submit that information, this counts as an event. I think this is a legitimate event in that country, and in many countries is the best we can hope for, and it's a way to plant a seed and to people start hearing about quantum, start getting interested, excited, and we establish these links. And I think we should, it's hard, but we should try it. So this is the strategy. And again, this is not the latest snapshot. There's already, I think, 55 countries, but we really want to have this counter here. How many are still we are still not there. So there's actually some countries that are still not here, but that we know we will have events. For example, these Portuguese-speaking African countries and East Timor, we will do events with them. So they are still not here, but they will be. So there's many things in preparation. I would say that, challenging areas especially are here in the Central America and Caribbean. And so we have colleagues from these continents working on that. Another challenge is the Pacific Islands, especially those a bit, more isolated. And we have colleagues in Australia and Oceania working on that. And then another area that was still not so active, and now thanks to you and your colleagues is getting more active, is the ASEAN region. And if we can reach more countries in the ASEAN region, and if you can help with that, it would be really great. And this is the proposed strategy. But we also want to listen to you and the feedback you may have on this initiative. We want to learn and follow the local expertise, the local knowledge. And these are our initiatives. So I'm about to end. Just also, we have this initiative to translate World Quantum Day into your language. We want to be, this is for people to propose. So thanks to 𝗂𝘁, I realized something obvious that we never did, which was go to ChatGPT and get translations. So that was very smart. And so we definitely use those suggestions when they come, but we don't want to do it systematically. This is for people if they want to engage, if they want, if they're proud to have their language there, we will wait for them. It's not about a systematic completion, but of course, this is a very good tool. So this is been very rewarding. People are very proud about their identity, and some languages that some of us didn't know. For example, did you know there's a language in a minority in Turkey called the 𝗏𝗏 language? So this was very funny that we got this suggestion, and then we wanted to validate the translation, and we couldn't really find, it was hard to find an academic who studied this, and then the person who submitted said, yes, actually, I no longer live in Turkey, but this is my identity, my roots, my family comes from this ethnicity and this language, and so he accepted a small correction, and he was very proud to have that translation there. So this is the goal, to make this really inclusive and representative. And so this is it. So World Quantum Day, April 14th, not strict about the date, but of course many things happen and will happen this Monday, every day in 2025. If you want to submit, all the information is on our website. You can just go here and submit your event. You can get the logos that you can download and use freely. We are now establishing some more social networks. We have someone working on that. Some of them are really recent, and so it's still about to get traction, but I think this will accelerate a lot over the next few days. But if you have ideas, if you want to get involved, you're very welcome. You have here our hashtags: World Quantum Day every day in 2025, Quantum City, and internationally of Quantum 2025. You can also subscribe to our mailing list and get regular news. I want to thank all the colleagues in the network, everybody involved, but we have a coordination team that I want to acknowledge, and the communication and design team, and we have sponsorships from, here we contribute a bit with some in-kind work, but also from Institute for Quantum Information and Matter at Caltech, and the Quantum Flagship, which is the European program in quantum technology, European Union's program in quantum technologies. And in fact, there's other entities interested in supporting, but most of this is really bottom-up volunteer work. So we're still working on how to address and formalize that. And of course, if you know more sponsors, they're always welcome. And then essentially this sponsorship is supporting the team we've hired to develop the website and some of the professional work on communications, etc. Otherwise, it's very much volunteer work. But I think if we can get even more professional, even better. So this is it. Thank you very much for your attention and participation. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
So there's one question in the chat from Carissa Lee. How do we include countries that do not have any form of quantum activism?
Of any?
Quantum activism.
Activism. Very nice word, quantum activism. And thanks for the contacts here. I will double check them. I really like this word, quantum activism. I had never heard it before. So it's a great question. I think, you know, I was going to say every country has a university. That's not true. Okay. I found out this recently, to my surprise, but, you know, in hindsight, it makes sense. But, and even those, I gave the example of some African countries that we work with in Africa, in Portuguese-speaking countries, and they have universities, still nothing quantum there. But at least what I can say is every country will have schools, and there's always some schools and school teachers who may be excited, besides the maybe even the students there, because now with the internet we have access to so much information. So it's a bit of a work to really try and, you know, that's also a bit of how our quantum network, World Quantum Day Network, grew. It's by suggestions of colleagues we trust, who then suggested another colleague they trust who had the right profile to be in the network. And so if we make a bit of effort, we, you know, asking here and there, sometimes you don't get anywhere, but if you insist, and by word of mouth, you may get there. So I think this is what we've been doing. And but if you have other ideas, please let me know. I also want to make a comment, because there's a quantum hype. There's a lot of excitement. And this is great, but I think, you know, there's two things that I believe are dangerous. One, we are creating too many expectations about quantum technology. Quantum technologies, I mean, are spectacular. Quantum information science. I've been working in these fields since 1999, right? So more than 25 years. I'm from the time when people made fun. I think maybe Queck also witnessed this, made fun of the scientists who were working in this field, and they were saying this is not physics, it's philosophy because of entanglement and blah, blah. There will never be a quantum computer. And so don't get me wrong. I really believe that quantum information science and technology is something spectacular. In my opinion, is a scientific and technological revolution. Having said that, I think there's too much hype, creating expectations that we will be able to solve practical problems, that we'll have quantum computers very soon, etc. And this may take time. This may take years, decades, and I think we should be very upfront about that. And so this is very important when we try to, spark this quantum activism, that people understand what they're getting into and convey the right message. The second aspect that I think is dangerous is that suddenly you have all sorts of self-appointed quantum experts that are going to tell you that we can do this, and they want to, guide you, advise you, etc. So we should be cautious to make sure that these quantum activists, these people who are enthusiastic and have energy to do things, they talk to the right experts, they get good advice from right experts, and have a good framework. And that's actually one of the reasons we created the World Quantum Day Network the way we did. So if you talk to one of our members, you can be sure that this is a person who knows what they're talking about, who will give you serious advice, feedback, etc. I see also some other comments, but I don't know if there is time. Just very quickly, if you want to have Lahore as a quantum city, just organize an event that takes place in Lahore. It can also be hybrid, but it should have a physical component in Lahore. So either you do it yourself, or you find someone doing an event in another city or even another country. And if it's hybrid, you can organize the Lahore site and submit that to the website, and that's it. I don't know about time, so I go back to...
Yeah, it's fine. So thank you, 𝗪cie, for the presentation and the talk. Initially, we have a brief presentation, so probably I will just show. So this is the kind of slides that I've been preparing. So I just collected the World Quantum Day events in April, because even just in April, it's already filled out all the maps. Imagine if, let's say, I take the whole years of quantum event, fitting it into this map, then definitely you cannot see anything. But later on, I will share these particular slides. So I already linked all the possible websites. For example, Thailand, I linked to Qtrade. Malaysia, I linked to 𝗦QI. Singapore, I linked to National Quantum Office. Indonesia, I linked to PRINQ. Philippines are linked to Quantum Computing Society of the Philippines. Unfortunately, Vietnam does not have an official website yet, so I just linked to their event website. So you can find all the quantum events in each of these regions through the official websites. So that's all from my side. So next, we welcome, I think, Gustav from OQI. So he's the engagement and partnership lead, and he's been very helpful to help us organize the SEA Quantathon 2025. So yeah, I will just let him give the talk.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pakshan. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for having me here. Before,
I
think you should make it full screen. The presentation slide.
My apologies. Okay, it's always the same story. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, guys.
It's
Sorry
okay.
about that. So yeah, just before launching into what OQI is, what we do, I just wanted to highlight the existing relationship that we have at CERN with the organizer or the host of this hackathon, Thailand. Thailand has been in our network since 2018, so we are absolutely delighted on this year of quantum to see one of our most faithful members in the Southeast Asia region to host this hackathon. And I really want to extend my gratitude to all the team that has been working very hard to make this possible. And I hope it's only the beginning of a lot of hackathons in Southeast Asia. All right, so now let me take you on a little journey to explain what OQI is, what we do, and maybe the why is as important. So OQI was an idea that was emerging from a number of countries 3 years ago. The result of a reflection that if you look today at where we are with AI, we certainly could do something better to prepare societies to the arrival of quantum. The fact that we have essentially today an oligopoly around AI, that there's a lot of digital divide, and considering the potential, without overselling it, but the potential of quantum computing, we have a responsibility to do better at being prepared and at sharing this technology in a much more wider and a much more open manner. So OQI was put together to be a collaborative platform to develop quantum computing. And the angle we've got is that this is for the benefit of all. So it is really designing new algorithms applied to humanity to make it simple, but I'll go into a lot more details. So if you look at the last decades, every time that a truly disruptive technology came around, we can really see that certainly the societies, but also the national legal frameworks were not ready. If you look at GM food, there was a lot of problem with the acceptance of that technology. And today, as I was saying, AI I think we can all agree, is a technology that is not equally shared. I mean, you got very strong, very powerful corporation owning a lot of the IP, and the digital divide that keeps on getting wider. In addition, when you find online a video that has been doctored using AI, well, nobody's responsible. It was done by AI. The legal framework to put some guardrails around what the technology can do are not in place. And as a consequence, we know the systems are always playing catch up. The legal system are playing catch up. So this country that decided to set up OQI decided that one solution to try was to share that technology, to develop and share it widely, equitably, and freely. And so a year and a month ago, they came to CERN and asked us, could you take over the implementation of this particular institute that we call the Open Quantum Institute? And they came to CERN, well, because CERN is an international organization, non-profit, open science, and we've got a fairly good record to share technology to society. I mean, the web is, of course, the obvious example, but even more recently, if you look at the accelerator technology that has been passed on to the medical sector, we have a number of illustrations about how we know how to share technology. We also non-profit, we are inclusive, we have about 101 nationalities present on campus, and we've been doing open science for a very long time. If in addition you illustrate our diversity by stressing that we've got 700 partner universities worldwide, we had this capacity to project the technologies in all corners of the world. So that was it. March 2024, 𝗂𝘂QI was born as an institute at CERN. So what's our model? So when it comes to the technology of quantum algorithm, what we are trying to do is to push the technology beyond the state of the art, but we do it, again, it's a typical CERN manner, using collaboration between the public and the private sector, right? So we have a few values in our model that are going to go quickly. As I was saying before, open science, we want the knowledge to be shared. We believe that in a team, designing algorithm, developing algorithm, or for that matter, any technology, it helps a lot to have very diverse teams. So with backgrounds that are not only scientific. That's why in a typical team, working with 𝗂𝘂QI to develop new types of algorithms, quantum algorithms, you will find NGOs, of course, universities, you will find startup companies, industry leaders, and by that I mean the Amazon, Google, and so on, governments sometimes, and certainly UN agencies, because they all bring a different, a different angle to tackle a particular application. Now, when you are dealing with this kind of very different backgrounds, private, public, for-profit, non-profit, you can easily run into difficulties because they are not sensitive to the same time of incentive, right? I mean, a for-profit, you want to get your project across the line, you want to make money, and so on. So we decided, in order to create a level playing field between these very, very different actors, that we would only focus on applications related to sustainable development goals. And there, the idea is, even whether you are for-profit or non-profit, it's very hard to argue against eradicating poverty. It's very hard to argue against protecting biodiversity, producing clean energy, and so on and so forth. So that level playing field is making it possible for actors that maybe not spontaneously would work together to here be in a completely depoliticized environment and focus on breaching the limit of the technology. We have an international reach, and we make a conscious and a lasting effort to engage with what we call underserved countries. So countries, essentially everything but the West, right? So that's another way to say that. Again, to mitigate the risk of digital divide. We wouldn't like quantum to be another contributor to the digital divide. Of course, we're not gonna change that on our own. 𝗂𝘂QI is very small, so we have no illusion that we will save the world. But on the other hand, you have to start somewhere, right? So, and we feel as CERN, as a non-profit open science organization, that we should do our bit. And therefore, we have this really ambition to reach out to this underserved region. We believe also that we would be successful in the end if we can ensure some independence, whether it's for individual, national, or corporate entities. It is clear that whatever the future of quantum is, we will have to buy quantum computing time from the big providers. We are never going to have a quantum computing in our, in our house. That's not probably, I might be wrong, but that's very unlikely. So if you like, the fact that we will need to invest in securing computing time, that's a given. That's a boat has sailed. On the other hand, designing the applications using quantum computing, this is still something where we can make a difference. This is still an area where we could share the knowledge to ensure a minimum of independence from all stakeholders. Now, that's the top level model. Now, how does it work in practice? So now we enter real life. We have a website with an open pipeline. So if you go on our website and you click on submit a use case idea, which is like an application idea or project proposal, you can there leave a very short description of what problem you would like to tackle and how you plan to solve it. The conditions to be eligible to be onboarded by OQI is that the problem you're trying to solve must be related to an SDG, and the impact of the problem you're trying to solve is clearly a factor, a decision-making factor in the selection process. In addition, your proposal needs to show quantum advantage, meaning that because our resources are not infinite, in fact, they are very stretched. So we need to focus on the applications and the techniques that will have quantum computers outperform conventional computer, right? So part of the criteria to select an application or project proposal is that the team can show that a quantum computer will do better than a conventional computer solving a particular problem, right? So now this is I would say the administrative path into the buffer. And then if you open the buffer, you will see a lot of projects. So I'm not going to share them all. I'm just focusing on climate action, so SDG 13. And there we have 2 projects that is currently being managed by OQI, supported by OQI. One is in Malaysia with 2 universities and supported by the UNDRR, which is to provide a better accuracy in flood predictions. Another project is based in Lebanon, and there the idea is to model the underground water resources in the face of climate change. Right? So these are very practical problems that are being addressed. Both projects are moving through the pipeline one step at a time. So what do we do in this pipeline, really? And what does OQI provide? And here I want to stress at no cost. So first of all, we provide the experts to filter out the proposal coming into our pipeline. So we've got Sustainable Development Goal experts. They're going to assess the impact of the problem or the solution that you're bringing to the problem. We're going to also have deploy experts in quantum computing to assess whether the solution that is proposed is indeed suitable for a quantum computer. And in addition, we will select the proposal that have the most potential to push the technology beyond the state of the art. Once you have that first filter overcome, then we assign a quantum computing expert per team to guide them. And here I really use the word guide. Our quantum computing experts are not going to do the work, and certainly we are not going to bring the resources to CERN. The idea is that we send our experts to the teams, right? So we want to build capacity in the country of origin. As the algorithms are being developed, are being reviewed, they will get more and more mature, to the point where at some stage, one of our partners in the hardware industry will pick a team and help them deploy their algorithm onto their, first of all, their emulators, and then later their quantum computers. We have a little bit of seed money to help particular teams that need a little bit of investment, but we're not a funding agency. Just to be clear, we are more like we have seed funding. That's about it. So this technology track, in our jargon we call it A1, is something that is extremely important for the CERN member states and for the backers, because we believe it is a value proposition that does not exist anywhere else, in a sense that it doesn't matter where you're from, you're going to get all this sort of support and access to hardware for free, right? If you're selected, obviously. But there are other pillars of our mission. One is capacity building. So here we do a number of things. We have put together, and we are always growing, an OQI educational consortium. So there what we do is that we share experience and best practices. We also share educational material. This is very important because in some regions of the world where there is not yet a bachelor or a master's in quantum computing, having already lectures, exercises, masterclasses, seminars that they can be reused, give the universities a head start. And all this material is put online in a database that will be searched, because we're working on this, so that you can select the slides or the exercises that you find useful. We've also assembled a pool of experts to advise and mentor. Again, they are not doing the work, but they can be injected into the teams where maybe there is a bit of a gap in expertise or in techniques, so that they can move further into our pipeline. The other way to do capacity building is hackathon. So we had our first OQI-inspired hackathon in Lebanon last weekend. The next one would be in NYU Abu Dhabi. And of course, we know the one in Thailand is coming after that. It is based on a kind of a recipe, or I don't know, you want to call it like a best practice guide called Hackathon in a Box, which is also something that you will find available on our website for free. So these hackathons are meant to be, again, a seed, meaning that the first one is going to be supported by OQI with a bit of seed money. Our hope and ambition is that there will be more and more of these, and that when a team successfully organize one, then maybe the next year there's going to be another one, and then another one. You know, it is part of building this community that is meant to share the knowledge and to trigger some interest, and hopefully also to highlight, exceptional talent in the participants of these hackathons, so that we can then give them a chance to move on with other things. And the other things is important because it's the internship, right? I mean, when at the end of a hackathon, you most likely have a team of winners with exceptional skills, right? And it would be such a shame to stop there, right? So one thing that we are exploring right now with a number of partners is how the winning team of a hackathon could be given an opportunity to further develop their skills, and maybe even to go into an incubator, if the application is really very special. So we are talking about this. It's not yet there yet. In terms of internship, we just started, but it's very small. We have 3 interns at OQI so far, but we are certainly hoping to set up the mechanism with our partners to have more. For us, we believe that to qualify as an internship, it's minimum 4 months of on-the-job training, right? So, because, we have all sorts of placement at CERN, you got the summer program and things like this, but frankly, in 8 weeks, it's a bit short. So we'd like to do something longer, but not only at CERN. Make no mistake, CERN is one of the places where we could take interns, but we really are looking forward to also find opportunities in our industrial partners' premises, so that the interns can also have a chance to see the industrial version of research in quantum computing. And finally, there is also what we call a quantum diplomacy game. So this is something that is rather targeted at decision makers. So to prepare the political class to receive or to handle the challenges brought by quantum computing to society. So that there's a different tack. We are not anymore in the field of education. Well, it is education, but not technical education, not scientific education. It's more getting the next generation of decision makers ready to handle the challenges of quantum computing. On this slide, I just wanted to show our program in 2025, and you can see it's quite busy. So the Lebanese hackathon already took place. The next one will be in Abu Dhabi. Then we're going to Ghana in July. Then we'll go to Egypt, then Thailand, or actually it's Thailand before Egypt, and then we finish with Uruguay. And in lighter color, you've got the quantum diplomacy game that we're also running. There will be actually, I should mention for the one of you who might go across Europe this summer, there will be also at CERN in July a quantum material hackathon at CERN. Right. Then we have another pillar, which is access for all. This is essentially yes.
Can you quickly just summarize what you need to talk in like 2 minutes?
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem at all. Anyway, that was I was going to say that was a relationship with industry. Last slide, 2 slides. This slide is about what it is that we do differently, and so in a nutshell, we collaborate with industry, but we have a special interest or a special focus on the underserved geography. We also have the capacity to bring together people from very different walks of life and make them to focus on technology, and we educate. Last slide, we have now a platform where you can register. This is meant to grow the community. Again, the ambition here is to share knowledge. And if you are looking for a speaker, if you're looking for a lecture, if you're looking for people to come and be mentors at your hackathons, all these sort of things can be done through this OQI Hive-Bride website. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin. Yeah, I work with OQI for quite some time now, so I understand that there is a lot of things to unpack from OQI side. So just a quick question from Aria. What are the internships for? Are they working in quantum computing at CERN?
Yes, so what are they for? To give an opportunity to young talent to have an on-the-job expertise or experience with quantum computing. It would not only be at CERN, but if you look at the sort of topics we're handling at CERN, we've got quantum computing algorithm. We also have a lot of people working on hybrid systems. How do you interface a quantum computer with an HPC? As I said, at the moment, we are not there yet, meaning that we are still working with all the legal and the HR mechanism that need to be defined to allow that. But we have a first few students that have been onboarded. It's essentially to sharpen the skills and the CVs of the people from our community.
Right. Thank you. So I suppose we should quickly move to Morawat's talk. So thank you, Martin, again for the talk.
Thank you.
So just briefly introduce Morawat Bimasana. So essentially, he's the leader of Q-Trick, and yeah, I just leave the floor to you, Morawat.
Thank you. So firstly, I want to say that we are quite honored that we be able to host this the Southeast Asia Quantum Hackathon, or we call SEA Quantathon. Okay, so with that, I want to introduce our consortium a little bit in Thailand. You can hear me okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So we call ourselves Q-Trick. Q stand for Quantum Tech Research Initiative Consortium, or Q-Trick as we pronounce it short. This consortium is supported by the PMUB. There's a grant agency in Thailand from the Ministry of Higher Education Research, Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation. So right now we have around 120 professors and researchers from 17 government and institute, and also 2 startups. Also, our student, if you include student, we up and down a little bit, but 60 to 70 student and postdoc. So roughly we have about almost 200 people in this consortium right now. So just want to mention a little bit about our background and then relate to this. So as we all know, I think we should not talk much about quantum computing now, but I think from our motivation, we see that this is the kind of the next stage that we see. Look ahead, maybe it's not as clear, but we know it's gonna be big. But when we look back, certain things like when it changed from analog to digital, like in around year 2000, there a lot of opportunity that we see in that transition, and then a lot of the world we live in the digital world now, a lot of things that have been developed. Yeah, unfortunately, Thailand maybe contribute a little bit, not so much in that aspect, but in this time, I think we feel that when quantum is coming, there would be a lot of big opportunity that many things that could change around the world, and we would like to contribute as much in whatever way that we can. So that start from a little bit from 2018. We has lead by the minister back then is Dr. 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗀𝗪. He came back and set policy is called Frontier Research Policy. So quantum tech is one of flagship in that one, and we have some roadmap which is more or less back. Is not updated now, but this is really the original that we got started in about year 2018, and we start to form the team, and then 2019 and we start to run. But more or less this kind of roadmap guide us a little bit. Some of them is quicker, some of them slower, but more or less in approximately in the average that we get. And in the first few years back, start from 2019 or so, we start more or less from scratch. This is the left-hand side is the map of Thailand with different institutes from the north to south. Since working together as a network, so that is really something that we unite people that work together, not competing each other, and that helping from any from like equipment or the human resource, and the grant is come as a single source now that we distribute around in Thailand. That focus on like metrology, sensing, communication, simulation, and algorithm. So what we can, like the basic benchmark, we can like manage and control like single ion, single atom, I can see, or like the single molecule, like in spin, or like entangled photon, we can control for communication, or like the medical sensing application, or like some algorithm that being used in managing. And these are like the like timeline, so I will not go into detail, but more or less the first 3 years we try to unite, which is succeed, and then we get a consortium that running. We build some lab around Thailand in each university that has a network, and then some publication we have, and then some prototype. But then in the current phase right now, we try to look into what we can contribute in the commercialization or education. So like problem that we may be working with ASEAN, or the thing that we have called like Quantum Valley Initiative, which I explained a little bit, but not into detail what we can. So it's different from like Silicon Valley concept, but it's something that we hope that we could contribute something, which I see that we maybe Thailand can contribute certain thing. I show you in the next few slides. Okay, so before that, I just two more slides on the technical stuff, like the early application that we could see that coming in Thailand. So like quantum inspired algorithm already been used in some of the logistics sector, like leading by the QTFT startup, for example. Or we have been supported by like EGAT, like Energy Generating Authority of Thailand, to see like how the grid optimization can be, or together with other tech, quantum tech that can be contributed, or like atomic clock based can be used for time synchronization and then communication, or like even positioning of like the GPS or the local the localized indoor localization concept, for example, we are working on, or like the quantum sensing that some of the hardware that we are seeing through. So this is a little bit of the combined things of each. Instead of individual, we can think of like the problem driven, like energy grid optimization, or the platform that for the clean energy, or the how we can support more like EVs that growing the EV vehicle car in Thailand. that we have policy like 2030, we want to have like 30% of production of EV car, for example. How can the Thailand support that thing? So we see that quantum tech could be helping in certain way, like for example, like grid optimization, or like time synchronization, or like a communication that can be used for energy trading, or the fundamental of quantum material, like for solar cell or energy storage. These are something that we try to put together, and then this is something that consortium is running on that. But in the bigger picture, we hope that maybe certain thing that we can set up a special kind of area that we test, could be a playground on, like, let's say from clean energy, that in this is in 𝗏𝗂𝗃. I think the last time we organized one of these with 𝗪𝗂𝗃 as you're visiting with 𝗦𝗘𝗔 that we have this kind of idea that maybe we could try to push some forward, like special case that we can run like clean energy. So this area has a like 𝗬𝗃𝗃, there's a water reservoir on top of the mountain that is act like a big battery, like maybe equivalent to 8 GWh that maybe can use for clean energy, for example. And to surrounding by like the national park, that could be nice way to think of like environment problem or wellness or certain things. These are the things that not so far from Bangkok. So later on, if the train, the high-speed train is finished, it maybe take a little while, but it's gonna be less than an hour from central Bangkok to this area, for example. So, but to come back to this idea, so Thailand maybe not is a very small country. We know that we cannot work alone, and then but certain thing that maybe we start from big dream but start small. We know that we could do something like, for example, conference that we can bring people together for a certain time, like maybe very cold in Europe, and then we can nice time in Thailand. We can have organized conference or exhibition. And also very important, like the work can be done is cannot be without like the help from each other. So we look in the ASEAN or global networks that maybe try to bring certain things that we can contribute. So in this aspect, we see that we have a good people around that. Thailand has been sent many people for Thai scholarship to top university, and then they come back there. One thing that even though we don't have a lot of funding for research, but I think we have ideas that maybe can identify what are the good problems that quantum tech may able to help. Like energy would be one example, but there could be a lot more in that aspect. So let's come back to a little bit of network of ASEAN. So last year we had this kind of starting. Also thanks to I think 𝗪𝗂𝗃 was around Chung, also organized. Also nice to see Professor Quek from Singapore that we had not met for a while, but he visited us earlier. So this is kind of where kind of began that we start to see that there actually may be common interests, and what are the things that we can do together. And that is something that kind of continue to this today, that the coming events. But before that, I want to say a little bit of some event that we maybe will be organized together. Like we have also 2 years ago in QTI 2023 conference is a road to quantum innovation. It's not kind of usual academia conference, but I mean it's industrial that come a lot together with academia with each other, and like from IBM, from NVIDIA, Fujitsu, Microsoft, and more, for example. So that kind of see that maybe we could do a little bit of certain thing, and that kind of bring us more motivation and want to do more. So this event gonna be organized together with the Quantathon as well, that we gonna see some real case from or some real problem that maybe quantum can be useful from industry. So that can be hopefully that's gonna be elaborate or like make connection that bring the good problem with talent, and then maybe with the one who have resource, and then maybe can attack certain problem together. And also we had a little bit of this like ASEAN event last year as well, and also together with like SQST, this Dr. Ariya is here to be the main key person who bring people together, like top professor from around the world. We have enjoyed a lot. I just come back from Czech Republic, also we also impressed again and insist on more collaboration and student and exchange and hope to do more. These are the things that we start to see certain things. Or like the top one is the from 𝗕𝗓𝗔 workshop, and then bring a lot of ASEAN students together with the see around the 𝗪𝗂𝗴𝗁 National Park, which is very good and relaxing, and this helping. Or the top below one is in the ocean, the 𝗬𝗂𝗶𝘁, very nice area. So these are maybe something that Thailand contribute for sure, and hope that we can bring more ideas. And this is come back, and I will not spoil so much, but I want to say a little bit again before I hand over to Arya and Pak Chun Chen, that so this is Southeast Asia Quantum Hackathon, or SEA Quantathon, that we be organized together with QTI, which is industrial workshop, not workshop, industrial conference, quantum industrial conference. I hope that this can bring two things, at least two things, that bring that talent, and then see what the problem that Southeast Asian can be, that quantum tech could be useful, and then hopefully we can connect with like the people from other industrial area as well as capacity building, and then get strong and work together as a ASEAN community with in quantum tech. So that is something, and yes, let's hold hand together and then bring work together, and then thank you. And this is also my email, and also support from our side. Also, thanks again for PMUB from the Ministry of Higher Education side, research and innovation, organized with QT. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Warawat. Maybe I can directly pass to Arya, since both talks are kind of related.
True. Yeah. That's fine. I guess I want to kind of now finally we are going to talk about the Quantathon. Sorry for like a bit delay, not too much delay, like 5 minutes. But finally, like we are going to talk about the detail of the Quantathon. So let me get this one up. And that's okay. Looks okay, everyone? Yes? Okay, so
Yes.
I would like people to kind of ask questions during my talk. You don't have to be quiet. You can send like text in the chat and ask about anything you want to know about these organizations and also the event. And then someone will tell me whether there's like any questions. I think Chun can just like speak up, right?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So let's like make the official kind of formal setting down a bit. So as everyone probably know by now, that we are organizing this hackathon, and this hackathon is going to be in Bangkok in August, between like the 3rd to the 5th of August this year. And then you have heard the talk from the OQI. So the OQI is the main support of this event. And then also this event would be supported by the PMUB, which is the funding organization in Thailand as well. And then will be organized in collaboration with the QTRIC and also the QWorld. And then this event will be part of the International Year of the Quantum Science and Technology. So first of all, I would like to say that I am just part of the team, the big team. I'm not the only one who organized it. And there's so many people behind the scene. And I'm just like coming here to speak about it as like be on behalf of the local organizers. So there will be like faculties from Saranadi University of Technologies and Mahidol University and Chulalongkorn University helping together to organize this event. And then we have co-organizers from OQI, CERN, and then we have advisors from NYU Abu Dhabi, Professor Sana Ode, and then Marian from OQI, and also Chung Pak Chen, who is the moderator of this event. And then we have coordinators from like different countries, like in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines, and Vietnam, and Singapore. And many of you are many of them are actually here in this chat, in this Zoom. And then I would like to say that if you are from other countries, not in this 5, please let me know, and then please contact me if you want to be the coordinators of this event, so we can work together from now. So I think 𝗏𝗏𝗏 just say that the event kind of started with the idea that we want to kind of bring people together, and then so Thailand has been kind of like offer ourselves as the kind of platform to organize an event so that people can meet and collaborate. And so here is the communities, like local communities in different countries, from what I can gather. So this is like QTrick in Thailand, and it was like 𝗦𝗘𝗂𝗁𝗏 from Malaysia, and this is like Quantum Computing Society of Philippines, and then National Quantum Computing Hub in Singapore, and also like 𝗫𝗀 in Indonesia. And then there's so many more. So please, if you have any information about what is the community in your area, let me know, and I will add that to my public deck. So why do we want to organize this? So as an ASEAN kind of or Southeast Asia regional mission, we kind of think about it as like, you know, that there are a lot of quantum computing, quantum technology research going on in so many countries, right? In the US, in Europe, in like so many countries around the world. But then what about in Southeast Asia? It turns out that there are so many researchers around in this area, especially in Thailand, that 𝗏𝗏𝗏 just say that we did a lot of on quantum experiments, as well as the part of like the theory. And so why not we work together? Why not we like kind of combine the kind of like the workforce and then do something together? And so this will be kind of the events that we can like start working together, and then we can talk about what we can do, and maybe in the future we might have some kind of collaborative research going on in the region. That would be amazing. So these are kind of the missions that we want to accomplish in the future, is that like building practical quantum applications, or advancing quantum policies and advocacy in ASEAN governance, and also like fostering collaboration in academia, industry, and also research. So why this event, right? So we know that quantum technology or quantum computing is on the rise, so we have to do something, right? And we definitely have people who know the research, and also like who know what is the technologies there. And also we want to build like the new generation of like students, right? So this event will focus on students and try to train you guys if you are interested. And you don't need to have any background on the quantum computing, and we will train you. We will have like a course, and then kind of combine everything for you. You just come with your mind or excitement and enthusiasm, and then come and learn with us. So these Quantathon, it's going to be focused on quantum computing for now, because it like quantum computing is just like something that is the easiest to apply to real world problem. And so as you heard from Martin from 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, right? So we want to use the technology to do something that like good for the world, let's say. So, and also like apply to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So we focus on the 3 topics that we picked for the Southeast Asia region. So the first one is like renewable energy. Definitely the energy would be the problem in the future. And then healthcare and medicines. I think this is like, well, from the COVID, you know that this is a big deal, right, in any regions in the world. And also the climate change. So this is also another big problem for us as well. So with these 3 topics, I want you to kind of focus on like thinking about how quantum computing, which you will be learning about it during the event, and then how can you use it to apply to these, or to try to solve problems in these three categories. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. So now next step is like, who can apply? So the eligibility criteria would be, the first one is you need to be a bachelor's students, or master's students, or PhD students. Why just these three? Why not the high school? I think like we kind of want the what was like you need to learn a lot, and then most of the course would be like quantum computing and quantum machine learning, quantum optimization. It was kind of heavy, so we want the you to have some kind of background in mathematics, in a bit of the computing, and then you can kind of keep up with a course, and then you can learn different like topics easier than like if you were a high school student. But if you are a high school student and you think that you are like really competitive, and you think that you can show yourself that you are equivalent to like a bachelor student, then please send us the application, and then write it in your CV or your SOP to tell us that you are qualified. So that is fine also. The second one is that you should be based or from a Southeast Asia countries. For example, let's say that maybe you're studying in one of the countries in Southeast Asia. That's fine. That's perfect. Or if you are from the Southeast Asia country, for example, if you are from Thailand, but right now you are studying somewhere abroad, and then maybe you're thinking at the end you want to, I don't know, like come to Thailand and then work in Thailand in the future. Maybe that's just a good idea. So you're welcome to apply. And then the third one is that we want to focus on students that have some background or studying in the STEM field, like science, technology, engineering, and math, or computer science. Yeah. So that's so far so good. If you have any questions, just like give it in a chat. Do I need to answer anything so far? Okay.
That is fine.
Hopefully no. Okay. Yeah. So the process, what is in the process? So this is a big picture. I'll talk about it in detail. So we can start with like, so here right now we are in the registration process. So we are expecting something around like 150 to 200 applications. Good news is that right now, I just looked it up. We have like 150 applications so far. So in the next week, maybe we will get another 50 soon. So if you have friends, if you have someone who might be interested, like tell them, and then submit the applications, and we will look at your applications and let you know whether you are qualified. And then once we have the applications, we finish like the deadline is on 18 April, and then we will have the selection process, bring the number down to just 50. So these, like, the number is not exactly 50, it will be around 50. And then if you are part of these 50 students, then you will be in the training process. So the training process, as I said, you don't need to have a background in quantum computing, because we are going to provide you with like introductory training, and then like courses. And then we have also also talked with people from like IBM and Continuum, and then other companies as well, that we will provide you with like a small workshops and also the training for like to be able to use their platform. For example, like an IBM, you will be learning how to use Qiskit during the process. And we also will have like industrial talks. So you'll be listening to talks from some entrepreneurs who might be interested in how quantum computing can be useful for their industry. So you'll be kind of like learning from the background in quantum computing, and also you will have to kind of learn about problems in the industry in the Southeast Asia regions, and then kind of see the connection between the two. And then once we finish the training, which lasts about 1 month and a half, which is quite long, and all this would be online, so that all the training will be online. You will be kind of be part of the courses, and you can kind of look at the it will be like a Zoom it will be a Zoom call sometimes, or sometimes it could be like a course online that you can go in there and then learn it by yourself. And then there might be some kind of form like a tutoring that may be provided by mentors from different countries as well. So from that training period, which is quite long, 1 month and a half, then we'll be at the selection process and bring the number down to 20 each, like around 24 to 25 to 30 students. So this is the part that's important. So these 30 students will be going through the team building phase. And then these 30 students will kind of mix and match between like different countries. We will then form the team. We will organize the team for you. You don't have to worry about it. And when we will like organize you into around 6 teams, and then each of the team, you will not expect it to be like all Thai or all Malaysian. We want to mix them up. So we will mix you guys up into like maybe like 2 Thai students and then 1 Malaysian and some from Laos and so on. So these like total, let's say 25 students from the team building period. Then these, like all of you in this period, in this phase, will be able to come to Bangkok, and then we will provide you with like all the fundings to be able to join the final rounds. Okay, so this is like the rough idea of it, and I have some of the updates. So just to get you excited. So here is 150, well, around 150 students that have been applied, and they are like 19% from Thailand, and what is this? 19% from Singapore, and then 10% from Philippines, and then 18% from Malaysia, and then 7.5% from Indonesia. And then interestingly, we also have applicants from Laos and Cambodia as well. So this is quite amazing. It will be like nice to see how like the students manage to get through the process together. Okay, so that's an update. A little bit more in detail of the process. So the registration, you will submit a CV, right, with a statement of purpose, the SOP. And then once we announce the first selection, which is like around 50 people, you will be joining the Discord server, and everything will be in there. Like all the courses, all the timetable would be in the Discord. So you'll be joining the Discord around like early May. So you will get an email to let you know whether you pass or not in this process. Okay, and then around the training phase, which I said it lasts for like 1 month and a half, the course would be quite a lot. Yes, I would say a lot. And the background quantum computing training would be provided by the QWorld, and then it would be around 10 days of the course. This would be around 3 hours a day. So in total would be like 30 days in total. And then this course from QWorld would be organized online, and it will be live teaching and also training. There will be like people coming and then help you organize the idea and then teach you what to do. And then the course will also be recorded. So So if you cannot make it to the live session for the training, you can also come back and then like learn it by yourself on your own at your own pace online. So don't worry if you like sometimes you are so busy during like 1 week and then you can come to the live session. You can also like listen to the recorded session as well. And then once you do these workshop, there will be an assessment and you will have to pass 70% of the score to be able to get the certificate from the OQI and also from QWorld. And once you pass this one, you will get into like it will be part of the criteria that we use to choose or select the students for the next round. Okay. Another thing is the additional workshop. The course will be kind of introduction on the quantum optimization. So not just quantum computing, we will have to learn about quantum optimization and also quantum machine learning, because like these two techniques will be useful in order to use quantum computing for solving the real world problem. So these two are really important for the course. So this will be like introduction for the course. But once you are selected to the second one, which is the team building phase, which is like around 25 students, you will get into a more kind of like an advanced course. So there will be like advanced course on quantum computing, on quantum machine learning, and also quantum optimization. So be prepared for those mathematics that will come to you. So this will be like the team building phase. And also the team building phase, there will be mentors that will also come and talk to you about how to kind of build ideas to be prepared for the Quantathon or the hackathon in August as well. So there will be the mentors from the regional area, like in Southeast Asia, and also the mentors from OQI as well. Okay, and the last but not the least is the events. So the events will be 3 days, so like 3 to 5, like the 3rd to the 5th. It's like Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So hopefully you can join it in these 3 days if you are selected, and you will be coming to Bangkok and work on problems and then present it. So if you are in, I don't know, like Philippines or Indonesia, you're far away from here, don't worry. We will have like ways to be able to support you to come to Bangkok, and the local expenses will be provided by us. So that would be great idea, right? So if you are interested in it, please come and join us. And also the last thing is the event will be organized back to back with the conference on the quantum technology research initiative in the same hotel as well, because we want these events to kind of like in a back to back, and you will be kind of be able to go into these events and then learn about what is going on in the industry part, and then hopefully that can kind of like initiate your idea for the hackathon as well. I think that's it. I think this is the part of the prize. Some of you might be like, oh, what is the prize that you might get? We want to be a bit secretive. We want to keep it secret for now. But then for sure you will get certificates if you pass the test. And then also if you come and then become the winner, you will get a different certificate from us. And you will be nominated for the internships, maybe at CERN, that Martin was talking about. And also could be internships in the industry partners as well. And then if you have like really nice idea, your idea might be developed into like quantum use case in the future as well. So hopefully that is clear enough. And last, this one is not for the students, but if you are, let's say, faculties or if you are like teachers, if you are interested in like training like students in the hackathon, please welcome, like contact us if you want to be the mentors for this event. And if you have some, let's say like you have a background in machine learning or data science and not much of the quantum computing, you can come and join us still. And you can also join the course as well. As part of the process, you can also learn about quantum computing. And then I'm pretty sure that if you have background in like different things like machine learning or data science, you'll be really, really helpful throughout the process to help students build their own problems and then solutions to the problem as well. So I think that's it so far. Yeah. Any questions from the audience? Park?
Okay. So in general, there are two questions. So one question sort of asks that if let's say the student is from India but currently studying in Singapore, whether you they can apply or not. I think definitely the answer is yes. Can still apply.
Yeah. You would have to. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you are enrolled in Southeast Asian countries.
That's right.
So the second thing is about the lectures. So for the 𝗂𝗂 lectures, it will be consecutive 10 days, but the time will be arranged after working hours. So it will be maybe around 7, 8, and so on.
Right.
So it won't clash with your lectures. So no worries about that. So maybe I can talk more about the workshops. So for the 𝗂𝗂, it is every day 2 to 3 hours for 10 days. So it's a consecutive 10 days workshop. But for the additional workshops, we try to minimize the stress. So we will do it something like every week we have different workshops. So like every week, for this week, we have quantum optimization. Next week, we have quantum machine learning. Next week, we have responsible quantum technologies and so on. So it won't be as jam-packed as the 𝗂𝗂 workshop.
Yeah. So I mean, like average would be what, 3 to 4 hours a week, the minimum, and that's the minimum.
Yes.
Yeah, like
it's
kind
only
of
the 𝗂𝗂. It's only the 𝗂𝗂 workshop is a little bit tense.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I think Arya also need to stress the point that we right now identified enough sponsors that we can. So if you are making through to the 24 finalists, you basically don't need to pay anything. We will even sponsor your flights.
Right. So it's a great opportunity.
Hi, may I ask? I'm sorry I joined a little late. This hackathon that you presented earlier, is it open for anyone to join, like students, PhD students, and all that?
Yes. If you are associated to Southeast Asia in some form, yes, that's right.
Is it online?
You mean the applications?
Yeah, I mean the classes and the training.
So the training and also the team building phase, which is like between the 21st of April to 25th of July, will be all online. The only on-site would be like the 3rd to the 5th of August. Yeah, so we have to come to Bangkok in order to join it.
And how do we apply for it? Because it's quite a last minute thing. It's starting 21st, right?
I copied the registration registration form to the chat, so you can just apply that. Probably I can speak more about the CV and the statement of purpose. If you have no background in quantum computing, no worries, you can still apply. But for your statement of purpose, please make sure that you write according to what the registration form state. Basically, you need to highlight your past experience or your future trajectory, how you're going to relate to quantum computing and so on. So as long as you can relate to that, we will still sort of like look through your applications. So you don't need to worry about like, do you have any experience or history or in quantum computing?
I see.
Yeah.
So it's open for students as well as researchers.
For researcher, so what do you mean by researcher? It's like you graduated already?
Academic, yeah, academics.
Okay. If you are a researcher, I would encourage you to come as a mentors.
Yes.
Mentors.
Yes, that's right. So the mentors would be kind of like helping students through the process. And then like during the process, you also will be learning different things as well, right? Because like there are like courses and workshops and so on.
I see. Okay. Noted. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you very much for the questions. So I see that we have around 40 students, or 40 of us here, and lots of questions.
So is there any other questions that anyone want to ask?
Yep, I mean, right now it's a Q&A part. You can unmute your microphone and speak if you want.
So I can just highlight the last part. So the reason why we want to organize this Quantathon is also because in a sense, this is the first efforts combining all the Southeast Asia, not all the Southeast Asia countries, but we try to collect as many as possible that sort of like having some form of quantum activities or quantum initiatives. So these are the 6 countries that we collected so far. So yeah, basically this is sort of like the first efforts that we try to work on building up a quantum ecosystem together. So it's kind of crucial for us to make this event a success so that we can sort of like have more in the plan in the future.
Yeah, right. Oh, I just want to say that is anyone from Vietnam in the Zoom?
I'm sure.
We need more applications from Vietnam. So please spread the words. We need you.
Yeah. So yeah, please spread the words.
Hi, Shun.
What's that?
I have a question.
Yep.
I have 18 years of experience in power sector, and I'm currently doing PhD in quantum computing from University of Malaysia. So I'm eligible for this hackathon. Yeah. I'm asking about the eligibility. I have actually 18 years of professional experience. Now I have been doing PhD in quantum computing, so from UPM, and I have applied. I have already registered for it. So I'm suitable for hackathon or for mentorship. What you suggest, please?
You can apply as a participant. Yeah.
No, because you are a PhD student, so we still consider as applicants. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But if you, let's see, unless we can mark that as let's see if you are overqualified, we might ask you to be a mentor instead of a student.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will prefer to be a student. Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Also, probably to the regional coordinators, if you are online, I think this is the opportunity for your own country, probably besides Singapore, like this is the opportunity for your own country to grow your own quantum talents. So make good use of this opportunity and encourage your students as well.
May I ask a question? So you see, I'm working in machine learning, data science, AI, and all that. But I'm more on conventional computing. I've not actually started using quantum computing on mostly my applications on machine learning and data science. So I'm an academic, I'm an associate professor, but how can I join this initiative to learn more about quantum computing?
Ah.
I do have a PhD student. I've mentioned to him that he should join as a student to learn and to get trained in quantum computing. But as an academic, even me myself, of course, I'm a machine learning AI person and all that, but algorithms and all that, but I've not started any work on quantum computing, but I would wish to do something on that.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to like contact you, and then I get your name. I'll contact you later, and then but then the short answer would be you can join us as a mentor.
Yeah.
As a mentor,
For sure.
but I can't train in quantum computing. I can join as a mentor, no problem.
That's fine.
But
yeah.
I'm not an expert in quantum computing. So how that works?
So maybe I can answer that.
Yeah, go ahead.
The reason why for the mentors we want one of the mentors to be regional, another one to be from OQI, is also because if let's say that particular country does not have any quantum experts, then the OQI appointed experts will be guiding the regional mentors
I see.
in quantum computing as well.
So how do I join? How do I become a mentor? And
yeah, you can
and
just
how do I-
contact us. You can just contact us. We can list you down as a mentor.
Sure. I'll be interested to learn more, as well as to teach in terms of quantum computing and machine learning, because my area is basically machine learning, but more on conventional machine learning.
Okay, sure. Yes, definitely. We can organize that.
Okay. So who do I contact?
Can you send us an email like this one, or I guess I could find your name also.
Yeah. I put in the chat my email address. You can send me an email.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes, we want more coordinator and also the mentor as well.
Okay, so maybe one last call. Is there any other questions? If not, then probably we can end this particular webinar because it's quite late for some of us already.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining again. Surinder.
Are we going to like take a picture if someone says?
Yeah, I think we should take a picture. Maybe everyone can open up your camera and then
Kind of
you
like
just take a
getting to know
picture.
each other before.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone like free to turn
So
on
maybe Sarah
the
or
video.
Jabez can help to take the picture.
Hello. Hi everyone. Thanks for staying up late.
With us to the end.
And someone would have to like signal or wherever.
In Sarah signal.
I can take the photo.
Okay, sure. You're the expert here.
Awesome. Great. Okay. So for the others that can't turn on your camera, maybe we can like do a heart react so we can still feel your presence. All right. Okay. So taking the photo now, smile in 1, 2, 3, smile. And once more, 1, 2, 3, smile.
A qubit.
A qubit. Who said that? Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you everyone.
Happy World
Thank you
Quantum
and
Day.
congratulations on the
Bye-bye.
initiative.
Thank you.
And remember,
to all.
there's more to quantum technologies than quantum computation.
Sure.
Thank you,
Sure.
Dr.
Okay,
Yasser.
thank you. Yasser.
It was very good to see you.
Bye-bye.
Congratulations. All
Thank
the best.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Recording stopped. ขอบคุณครับ Thanks.